Hi, I'm in the process of moving out my flat and I need to give it a deep clean so I can hopefully get my deposit back. So I figured I'd make a YouTube video of it. I wanted to start by filming quite an in-depth video of the flat, partially to see a before and after when I clean it, but also for my own sake to remind myself what this flat was like, because it was my first ever proper flat, not including the dorm I lived in last year. I really liked the flat, didn't quite like the landlords. We don't talk about that. My room's quite cluttered, but I don't think it was necessarily messy. Definitely need to take the bins out. Love the bay window in the living room. The living room is probably my favourite room. Kitchen not so much because it was an add-on and it had no windows or door, but it worked. I started by putting a wash load on. I had to do 2 of these today. And then shout out to my sister who told me that time lapses exist and are so much better for my cleaning purposes. Because before I would just record a whole video that was like half an hour, save it onto my phone, upload it onto my computer, which would take ages, and then speed it up on my editing software. Anyway, definitely took advantage of this time-lapse thing for the entire video, a lot of time lapses. I started by doing all my dishes and cleaning the sink, and then also just kind of the surfaces within the kitchen. And I also like to just open the windows to kind of air out the entire flat. Which, I mean, I used to panic that people would find out where I lived from scenes like this, but now it doesn't matter. Then I figured I should tackle the recycling. My flatmate left me this mouldy tomato sauce bottle, so I love that. It was a really nice day, actually, to go and do the recycling. So I went on a walk, of course, stopped into a couple of charity shops on the way. I also picked up a magic eraser, because I have loads of blue tack marks on my wall. Not all of them were me. This didn't work, but when we moved out, they didn't say anything about the walls, so I think it's fine. I was a bit annoyed that it didn't work, because I feel like this was like my last hope. Then I had a massive Vinted pile in my bedroom, and I had a few things that I sold that day, so I went to an impulse locker to drop them off. I really didn't want to do this, but it did really help to put everything I wanted to sell on Vinted actually onto my body and then take a picture of it rather than lay it down on the floor. I noticed things started selling a lot better when I did that. And then this is me trying to convince myself that I don't need to keep these jeans because they're really uncomfy. I just spilled this can all on my floor and also into the straw. And I also really do need to take my bin out. So this is the prompt I need to vacuum and mop the floor, I suppose, get the hardest task out of the way. I was in the process of picking things up from the floor so I can actually mop, and I kind of forgot about it and just stood in it, so love that. At this point I figured while I still had energy I should probably hoover and mop because those things will take up the most amount of time. This is my flatmate's parents' old hoover and it has a torch on the front, which I thought was really cool. I even went underneath the carpet to hoover, which I never usually do. It was kind of gross, not gonna lie. Also, don't perceive the fact that our Christmas tree is up. I just kind of came back mid-January and like neither of us bothered to take it down, so it was still up in March. And then I blocked the view of me cleaning my bedroom because I put the chair in front of the camera. Lovely. Finally got around to mopping, which I quite enjoy because I have quite a citrusy, I was gonna say flavoured, scented cleaning product, and it makes the house smell nice and it makes me feel like I've accomplished something because it's one of the hardest tasks. And then I've already included this video in my get out of a slump with me, but technically it does go towards my deep clean. I just kind of gave the living room a good clean and kind of picked up a lot of clutter that was on the surfaces. To kind of round everything off, I bought some flowers for the living room because I thought it'd be cute. I feel like it's about time the Christmas tree comes down, considering it is March, bordering April. So I think that's the next step. Finally, I took the Christmas tree down, which I actually struggled to get it back into the box, so I had to wait until my flatmate got back to ask her to help me with that. The rest of the living room was mostly just clutter, partially from me working on my essay in there, not gonna lie. And then I also made such a mess picking up this Christmas tree that I had to then go back in with the hoover, so love that for me. I didn't actually expect to go into detail about every single thing I was doing. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But I will say I'm recording this voiceover a couple of weeks after I recorded this. I've already done the stressful part of moving out the flat, and we have not got our entire deposit back, which is really annoying, not gonna lie. I think they just kind of take advantage of students, private landlords, because why have they listed, not be going into a rant right now, just to round things off, we received an email to say that my flatmate's bathroom, which I didn't show in this video, has watermarks and hair still in the shower, which is lovely, that the appliances haven't been cleaned, and then that there's dust and debris, which fair enough, but then they're trying to charge us £225, which I think is a bit steep for what it is, but I don't think we can actually do anything about it, so love that. Anyway, sorry to ramble. This is the after. It's not 100% clean. I cleaned this about a week before we moved out because I knew my flatmate would then do a clean because she was moving out like a week after me. So I was just like, I'll do the week before, you do the week after kind of thing. It just made it in a slightly better state for the next deep clean before moving out. Also just makes me feel better mentally to have a clean space, and hopefully this has inspired you to also clean your space. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd consider subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.